when we talk about entities, you can imagine consciousness, like you, me, and everyone else, like most beings have an ability to choose what kind of body they want to incarnate to, if they want it or not, because consciousness can simply be point of awareness, simply be being aware of things, being into the existence and stuff, and then once the consciousness decides to be something, if it wants to be, to experience something, then we have all these choices. And when we go to here, this like 3D universe, it's pretty much like limited. Like you won't find entities and other beings much in other places. It has to be really messed up like here on the 3D to have them there. So when we're here in the 3D, we have all of these soul traps and other things that actually sort of like splits the consciousness, messes us over, limits us to the point where we lose our abilities. We forget who we are. We forget that, hey, I am consciousness. I can create things. And once we forget these things, we simply become on automatic. We become like sort of like a little being without a free will, without our own intentions and stuff. And the whole point of reincarnation is put us into the place of an entity. Because every time we reincarnate, we sort of like lose our abilities, lose our part of our consciousness, like how conscious are we of this reality, of ourselves. And so we lose part of who we are and start becoming less of a being. We are less aware, less being something. And so other beings start having more control over us. And so if a person was to reincarnate on Earth, for example, for, I don't know, 10 times, 20 times, it has to go through a cycle, but like every time you sort of reincarnate on Earth, it's a downhill spiral. It's like constantly going down, and with that we lose who we are. And so we become entities. Like I've met plenty of people who actually sort of like reincarnated and have been really messed with and ended up becoming entities. And so like when I'm doing these sessions and we're, let's say, removing entities from a person, a lot of times we're just destroying them. Sometimes I talk to the entity to the point where they become aware, like, you know, you wake them up by talking to them, they're like, what am I doing here? And all of a sudden they become more aware of the surroundings, they wake up, so to speak, like the same thing we're doing on Earth, and eventually this entity is like, hey, they sort of like get back their memories and get back to the point where if you allow them to transmute from the entity and to become something better, these entities will recall their lives as people who were aware, who were fully acting things. So when we get on this entity level, we lose our abilities. We don't have creativity. We don't have imagination. It's automatic program. Like you become like this like little bubble of energy, and someone else can like write in a program and sort of embed it within you. And now are you gonna be this like little bubble talking stuff? Like, yo, you suck, you're an asshole, da 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 da, like all of these like negative thoughts and stuff is coming from entities, but they're programmed. If you remove the program, all of a sudden they're pretty much like free from that. So there it is. Like I think like beings like us, we still have our powers. We're still conscious. We have creativity and imagination. We're not just NPCs. We're not like, you know, like we don't have all the stuff that entities do. So entities are pretty much like really downgraded humans, or, you know, like beings like that. So that would be the thing. Yeah, like this might take time to digest. It's a big concept because a lot of these entities are different. It's not like they're all the same. They're all looking like little bubbles and stuff. Like, no, there's plenty. Branded. Check out this movie if you haven't. Basically, these are all entities. All of these forms and shapes and stuff. These are beings who basically lose their powers and become nothing. So if you're pretty much like into, hey, what entities look like, this is kind of like an example. You know, so check it out. Branded is the name. So yeah, and again, like there's like also Ajin. There's Ajin anime. So if you look like it, you can basically look like this is a person, and there's like an entity over us. We have that. We have the mentors from Harry Potter. So these guys, you know, like as they say in Harry Potter, like, you know, like when these guys get close, they're gonna suck the life out of you. So you lose your precious memories, you lose your happiness, and you basically stay with nothing. So there's that. There's also like Rich and I, we were watching an anime called The Beastars. Our main hero is sort of run like he's controlled by the instincts. Like he's a 17-year-old wolf who have never eaten meat, and basically that monster or the beast within it's pretty much like, hey, I want to eat, you know. And so like it talks like an entity. It shows up like, this is the wolf. He just caught his bunny. He's gonna go to eat it. And this kind of like the entity, like kind of like his inner self and stuff. But when this guy gets close, you can actually see him like popping up. Where is he? I just need like, yeah. So entity like kind of like, this is us, everyday life. And then the entity sort of appears as the energy around us and can talk to us and mess with us. So like they can say all kinds of stuff to trigger us and stuff. So these entities have various shapes, various forms, and you know, it's up to us to be aware of them around us. Like so some people might actually see them with naked eyes. Some people will feel the energy. Others are like, you know, like, hey, someone's like watching me. I feel like someone's there behind me, and you feel the presence. So we have these abilities to pick it up and stuff.